Good day and welcome to another edition of Outside of Genie, where we will be looking today at racing from Greyville on the poly track. It's the 12th of August. Before we look at the racing and the races, just a few things I would like to touch on quickly. For those who are watching Outside of Genie, what Outside of Genie do is we do a form analysis, and by doing a form analysis, we then select possible outsiders that we think might have a good chance in finishing in the money or even win a particular race. You can then utilize those selections into whatever play you favor, because not each punter favors the same bet. Some like PA, some like pick sixes, some like quartets. So you then take those numbers and you work them into your selections, thereby uh, if those selections do arrive, whether they win or place, you will then get the benefit of the bigger payout, because that is ultimately why you are playing the horses, is to get a nice big payout to supplement your income. You can subscribe to our channel. All you have to do is just click on the subscribe button and ring the bell. And then every time that we post our daily video, you'll get a notification that the video is available. We are also on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and there is our WhatsApp number. Should you have anything that you would like to advertise, we are looking for somebody to sponsor this channel every day, and we can offer you a nice rate for you, and also advertise your product widely over social media. Now, we offer the video is for free, but we offer a subscription service where we give you every day a race by race selections. What we do is we give you an outright winner and two possible outsider selections. We give you value bets, which you can play each way. That is horses that we think in terms and value of either winning or place. Then we give you a best bet of the day. We normally try to give you a nice value best bet, not the odds on, that you can find on your own, but finding a base bet at longer odds takes the Genie to give that to you. We also give you trifectas and quartet selections. The other day at the Vaal, we gave you a quartet that paid out 15,000 Rand, but we have had the best so far was one for 17,000 Rand. We also give you affordable PA and pick six, which you can play, and then you can use that as a basis to add in your selections and then play accordingly, or use some of our selections and combine them with yours and then play whatever suits you. Our rates are 500 Rand per month, but since we are already into the new month, if you want to subscribe till end of August, you can do that now for 350, and that will also include our special that we're going to have on Gold Cup Day. Our special being that I will do a race by race analysis on all the pick six, which will be in separate videos. In other words, there will be 6 videos on each race, and just we're going to try and repeat what we did on July Day, where we gave you 5 winners, of which the last 2 worked out to 100 to 1 double. So let's look now, move on to the racing at Greyville Poly, where the first race is a 1200 meters maiden plate. Let's look at the betting first. Oh my goodness, I had this betting all lined up now. We're waiting again. Technology, I'm not a big, this technology sometimes get me, because I had all lined up before I started, but now we have to load again, waiting for the page to load again. So let's just wait for this. All right, the first race, number 1, Purple Powerhouse, 12 to 10. Savannah's Timer, 3 to 1. Monsoon, 13 to 2. 13 to 2, Ziva La Winter. Freddy Socks, 14 to 1, 18 to 1 Henry Street, and 25 to 1 and longer the rest. So let's look at the form quickly. I do believe that number 1, Powerhouse, Purple Powerhouse, I think is the horse to beat in this race. It has run some good races in the past, and I think that although it is only run on the poly once, I do believe that it wouldn't have a problem going to the poly today, and it's already a 4-year-old, which gives them a little bit of advantage over the 2-year-olds. Here we have number 2, Henry Street. I do believe that the Van Vierens are having a good run, so you can't discard this horse. It came, its first run was on the 1st of July over 1,000 meters, where it showed a little bit and then tired, and I'm sure they will have this horse much fitter today. We also have a first timer, which I will touch on now in this race. Let me just scroll down here. Number 9, Silvano's Timer. It's a Silvano by a Captain Elme called TikTok. I'm not too familiar with this breeding in terms of TikTok, but already Silvano by Captain Elme, that is already nice breeding. So watch the betting, and I think that could be the biggest danger if this horse has got a little bit of ability against the number 1. And also Zivala Winter hasn't run under poly yet. It's getting -2.5. It shows that on the 10th of June it debuted, and it showed a little bit of pace, finishing 7 lengths behind Light That Loose. And then last time out was also handy over the 1400 meter. But please note that was in a B division where it ran against stronger horses. Now Breeze won that race, but he also Breeze. I mean that this was like I think it's a grade 1 or grade 2 race. So definitely Zivala Winter, definitely a horse that you need to include in all your play. I think this can also be involved to finish when the photos are taken. So definitely a horse that you need to include in all your play. So we now move on to race number 2, which is also a maiden plate over 1,600 meters for fillies and mares. Let's have a quick look at the betting. The betting is as follows. Number 2, Wings of Fire, 16-10. Number 1, Zama Zama, 9-2. Amber Hall, 5-1. Emerald Flow, 11-2. Born to Rock, 8-1. 12-1 Girl from Ipanema, and 22-1 and longer the rest. Now let's have a look at the form here. Here we have number 1, Zama Zama. It's a Crawford and Marcus combination. This horse has shown some last time out over the 1,800 meters, ran out of steam over the last 200 meters, would probably a little bit fitter. With Marcus on board, with Marcus on board these days, you never know what's going to happen. I'm sorry to say. One day he rode like a champion, the next day, well, I'm not going to say anything further. Then we have number 2, Wings of Fire, which is the favorite. Has had 2 nice runs. Last time out behind Netta. Was running on a little bit, 24.7. Third fastest, 400 to finish, and can also be involved. Then number 3, Captain of All by pole position May. This horse also ran in the same race, a few lengths behind Netta, but I'm sure that this horse with experience will improve, put into the back ends of your quartets. Amber Hall comes from Cape Town, where it didn't show much. I just was 3 lengths behind Meter the George, and then came back after the break. And then you're gonna have to wait for this horse to improve. But maybe going on the poly will might be improvement. Drawn 4, they do not leave out. I see we've got this Carlton House by a mare called Port Elizabeth. Very interesting. And number 5, Emerald Foe, another candidate from the Confidence stable, which at the moment is very hot. I think the 1,600 meter will suit this horse. And it is drawn 5. Look for improvement here. Has had some decent runs on the poly, and it said last time here on the 1,400 stayed on. Therefore, I would think that the 1,600 meter will suit this horse better. Then here we have Born to Rock. Born to Rock as a 4-year-old filly has run a few places with Muzi Yeni on board from draw 6, can surprise and finish in the money. Not to be left out. So that concludes race number Oh yeah, sorry, I just wanted to mention a girl from Ipanema getting the -4. It's a 4-year-old, so that gives it's a huge advantage against the 3-year-olds. Do include as run places often. Also some and also likes running on from the back, and yeah, I think the 69 meters would be ideal. Also, it is a recent stable change, so that also makes it a dangerous candidate. So now let's move on to race number 3, which is also a maiden plate over 1600 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here we have number 3, Gavel Strike 18-10, Winterguard 5-2, The Goal 6-1, Lunar Prospector 9-1, Swanking 9-1, Montana Sky 14-1, and 50-1, and better the rest. So let's have a look at this race quickly. Here we have The Goal. I was expecting a better run from it last time. It is a 4-year-old, drawn 1, Lyle Hewitson riding. That already gives you extra 2 or 3 links, so it can be involved in the finish. There in the second last race, it said they made progress over the 1200. Has had 1 run on the poly, was about 8 links behind, can improve. Here we have number 2, Winter Guard, drawn 2, a 3-year-old What a Winter colt by Jet Master May. I do like that breeding, and I think that in this race, number 2, Winter Guard, it did finish second fastest to 400, 2 runs back behind Garaneus. It was the fastest 400 to finish. It was 10th at the 400 meters. I'm sure the 1600 meters is going to be down this horse's alley, and I think this is the horse to beat in this race. Here we have number 3, Gable Strike. Also has got similar form. It's going to be a nice race between the two. This is a 3-year-old coup de grace by goalkeeper May. Has shown signs that the 1400 meter will be better. Was running on behind Fast Love and Willow Express last time out. So I think the biggest danger to number 2. Then a lot of the other horses in this race doesn't have good form at the moment, I'm sorry to say. But there's I want to go down to number 10. Number 10 is from is Montana Sky from the Teeny Prince stable. Also one of those ex horses from Kimberley. It has had 2 runs here in the poly and has not been disgraced. Last time out in both instances, finished fastest 400 to finish. Definitely a horse with Richard Fourie on board. Definitely a horse that can trouble the aforementioned 2 horses. And by also being a 4-year-old, the only disadvantage is drawn 10, but it's got a very competent jockey, and I'm sure this Richard's riding style would suit this horse because Richard likes to bring a horse from the back like Striker Stratum in the old days. So let's move on to race number 4, which is also a maiden plate over 1600 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here we've got 2 very strong candidates, legitimate 8-10, 15-4, 3-1, 4-1, Seamaster, Hatton 15-1, 22-1, whatever it takes, and 53 and longer. So let's have a look at this field here. Number 1 is Hatton Hall. It's a 5-year-old, only had 2 runs, and has performed well in his last race, can be involved in the finish. Then whatever it takes, has shown flashes that it can run. Warren Kennedy on board, already a 4-year-old, drawn 2, can be involved in the finish. Do include in all your bets. Here's number 3, Free to Win. It's a 3-year-old Cape Town Noir by Jalet Mayer. This horse has been running nicely. Lyle Hewitson riding from draw 3, and the 1600 meters, I think will be up this horse's alley. And I definitely think that number 3 to Win would, in my opinion, would be victorious in this race, but can get a stern opposition from the number number 9 horse Legitimate. It's a dynasty by Equal Stripes. I'm sure this horse is going to stay much further than 1400 meters, than 1600 meters. He's drawn 9 and did run on stoutly last time. Last 2 rings ran on. I'm just scared that this horse might lose again at the start, but was running on well. And I think will be the biggest opposition to free to win. So then move on to race number 5. It is a merit rated 70 handicap, class D, average merit rating 71 over 1600 meters. Let's see, have a look at this race 5. Number 5, Walton Hall 3-1, Bakar 4-1, Tarzan 5-1, Walter the Penniless 13-2, King Julian 13-2, Two of Us 12-1, and 16-1, and longer the rest. So let's have a look here at a few of the horses. I want to go down here to, I want to start with number 9, Two of Us. As mentioned, the average merit rating in this race is 71. Now, this is an ex-Joburg horse, where it runs against stronger opposition here. Look at the 78. Bizay was placed in future races. There it ran 1.25 lengths behind Lone Survivor. In the 82, Lone Survivor came out and won the other day again. Here we have Bohica. Bohica has also won since. Silver Guard is not a slouch. And in its first race on the poly in the 75, it finished behind Farland. Now running in a slightly lower division, 4 lengths behind Donald McDonald, Warren Kennedy from draw 9. Definitely a nice each-way selection that you need to include in all your bets. So then I just want to move back to the top, where we also want to look at number 1. Walter Penniless. Walter Penniless is also has run against some strong opposition. They ran in 84 behind Gigi's Dynasty. Has won on the poly a few seconds, a third and a fourth. And I think that this horse will, and also run in that same race where Two of Us was second, where Farland was, this one was third, also just behind Farland. Last time out, also run in a stronger division and behind Two Words. Two Words, no slouch either. So I would think Walter the Penniless, definitely the type of horse that you would like to include into your play. So any other candidates, Tarzan that run well, has won last time out in a lesser division, can follow up. Movie Magic getting the -4. This little jockey the other day nearly surprised with 125 to 1 shot. I nearly fell off my chair when he nearly won that race last week at Scottsville. Movie Magic, also ex-Joburg horse, do include into your play. Here we have Walton Hall, Moosey Genie, drawn 5. Hasn't had a lot of runs, and now running against 1600 meters. Here we had behind Smart Socks, ran a decent race, and last time out on the poly, ran on late, can definitely be involved in the finish. These wily horses, some of them seem to have quite a bit of ability, so also a horse that needs to be respected. Then we want to move down to horse number 11, another wily horse, also Richard Fury, drawn 11, definitely a dangerous horse in this race, and nearly beat Smart Socks that day at 22 to 1 over the 1600 meters. Has had a few runs on the poly, and got one win as a third and a fourth. So definitely, I think Barker will also be there when the photos are taken. So let's move now to race number 6, which is a Felice Mays handicap 86, class B, average merit rating 83 over 1400 meters. Where the betting is as follows. Number 1, Twice a Smart 4 to 1, Electric Search 4 to 1, Katy Perry 11 to 2, Lady Legend 7 to 1, Cotton Garden 9 to 1, Ariana Shadows 14, Marmalade 14, Mr. Minster 14, In Rapture 14 to 1, and 60 to 1, and longer the rest. So let's look at some of the form. Here we have number 1, Twice as Smart. The ability rating in this race is a 83. Has run against much stronger opposition. Gareth Wright riding from draw 1 can definitely be in the mix. Has been running on well in all the races, but always seems to come on too late over various distances. now running against the 1400 meters, still to win on this distance, although she has won on poly over other distances. Here we have twice as small, 3.8 lengths behind Ojazana and Celtic Sea. So definitely a very strong contender in this race. Then we have number 2, Electric Surge, Lyle Hewitson, drawn 2. Lyle has said that he's going for the championship again this year. This horse also had some nice races, and I think it's going to be a race between number 1 and number 2. Let's look at some other horses that can be included into your play. I want to go down here to number 8, Katy Perry. Katy Perry has only had 4 runs. It's an open. I also once owned a horse by open, but unfortunately the horse had knee problems and never realized its potential. But the open is a very well bred. This horse is very well bred. Has had 1 win over Cornish Pomodoro. And then came back and then faded over the last few meters. But I'm sure the 1400 meter is going to suit this horse. So definitely a horse that you need to include into your play. Internal Words is also a horse that has got much ability, has had this course and distance, 2 wins, 2 seconds, cannot be excluded. Last time out faded after the break, but would be much fitter. But the serious contender in this race, I would think, would be number 10, Lady Legend. Lady Legend has come back after the break, didn't run too well behind Mississippi, but is improving with every run. Now has got Straydom on board, this young Straydom -4, and that's definitely going to make a difference. And this horse has been running well in this class and even against some decent opposition. So definitely a horse that you need to include in all your play, number 10, Lady Legend. So let's move on to race number, I just want to mention number 11, Mr. Minister, has been also running on from the back, second fastest 400, second fastest 400. Aries is a very competent jockey, but draw 11, but do include in all your play in your back ends of your quartets and so on. 11 Minister, Mr. Minister, definitely a horse that can be included. Same goes for 12 Marizan. Marizan, I think, has also run against some serious opposition. Yes, he ran 7 lengths behind Pretty Young, then 2 lengths behind Daisy. And the poly, she got 3 runs, 2 wins. Muzi any right, course and distance, 2 from 2. Definitely number 12, Marizan, needs to be included in all your play. So that is that. So then we move down to race number 7. And here we have a merit rated 99 handicap over 1200 meter class B, merit rating 93. The betting is as follows: number 6, In Cahoots 7-2, Traces 4-1, Guru's Pride 4-1, Frank Lloyd Wright 15-2, Cold Cost 12-1, Good Rhythm 12-1, Dear Marshall 14, Desolate Route 14, and 14-1, Waywood 25-1, along with the rest. So let's have a look at race number 7. Here we have number 1, Traces. This race is a 93, but if you look at this horse, 101 ran behind Kissable. Kissable was a very good horse. Pacific Trader, Russian Air, way down in class. And I think today, in my mind, the best bet on the day. Unfortunately, Andrew Marcus is riding it, and one never knows what's going to happen with Mr. Marcus on board. But I really do hope that he can bring this horse home, because in my mind, the best bet of the day. I'm not going to say much on this race. Number 2, Diamazo, likes this course and distance, already got 4 wins, a second, a third, and a fourth, not to be discarded. Jason Gates, a very competent jockey, including all your play. And then also, there is a few horses. Number 4, Cold Hard Cash, surprised last time at 16-1. Muzi any riding can be a stiff opposition for number 1, Traces. But I do believe number 1 is the better horse in this race. In Cahoots also in with a chance. but I still think number one, the better horse. Then here again, we have Mr. Stradom -4, good rhythm. Last time out on the poly, went start to finish, and now getting the -4. So definitely good rhythm, a horse that you also need to include into your play. That is then race 7. Let's move on to race number 8, where we have a Felicia Mayer 68 handicap class D, average merit rating 63. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting, we have number one, Color of Light 72, Caesar Crusade 4-1, Machiette 4-1, First Sighting 7-1, 12-1 Sarabi, Allure 12-1, Starlight 12-1, Black Ferrari 14-1, 20-1, and better the rest. So let's have a look here. Here in this race, my first choice is number 3, Caesar Crusade. Has been running well. We're running here in a 69 average rating. She has run against a bit some stronger behind Nas, Ginger Biscuit, and I do believe Caesar Crusade has had 2 course and distance runs for 2 seconds, and I think with Richard for G drawn free is definitely a very big contender in this race. There are a few other horses. Maquette has also got a chance. Sarabi, always there and thereabouts. Do include in the back end of your quartets. I want to have a look here at number 9, Allurain. Ex-Kimberly horse last time out wasn't this great. Ran third fastest to 400. Was hanging out. Lyle Hewitson riding from draw 1. Number 9, Allure. Ex-Kimberly horse. Cliffy Miller trained. Do include in all your bets. Also, number 11, Starlight, Warren Kennedy riding, drawn 11, has also run here and there against some bigger betting competition. Here we have number behind Mr. Winter. Um, so also horse Starlight has been running well after the break. Do include champion jockey on board, cannot discard. Here we have number 12, First Sighting. Also Jason Jacobs riding -2.5, drawn 2. Has also been running well in here and there against stronger opposition. My tie 76, 73, actually won a 73. Now down a little bit of class, getting the -2.5. I think will definitely be involved in the finish. So then let's move on to the next race, which is race number 9, which is a merit rated 70, class D, average merit rating 66. Here we have number 1, Hampton Court 2-1, Panchula 9-2, Candleco 15-2, Cray Dictator 8-1, Elegant General 8-1, Mojo Magic 10-1, 12-1, Fastest Forest 16-1, and longer the rest. So let's have a look at this race. I want to scroll down here to number 11. Cliffy Miller trained Elegant General. Now, if you at first look, you'll think, oh no, this horse doesn't have a chance. Comes from Kimberley. But that ran a very good race behind Jonathan for 23.2 in a fast time, 57.9 over the 1,000 meters. Now going 1,000 meters. The only problem is it's drawn 11. But if you have a look here, this horse course has run 11 times on this course before. 2 wins, 2 second, a third. Course and distance, 7 runs, 2 wins, 2 seconds. So definitely Elegant General do like this course. Although it won a few races on the sand it won 3 races on the sand. And I do believe 11 Elegant General definitely not without a prayer in this race. So let's look at some other horses. Let's move back to the top. Here I want to talk about number 4, Concealed Secret. Now, Concealed Secret, also ex-Kimberley horse, Sarah van Willig-Smith. But also, again, look at this horse on the poly. 3 runs, 1 win. Course and distance, 2 runs, 1 win. Did win on this course and distance when it was still with Sean Terry. Now, having a first run, definitely a horse that you need to include. Mr. van Willig-Smith, who's no fool. He has been training a lot of winners in his time. Jason Gates jumping from gate 4. Definitely a horse that you need to include into all your play. Then number 6, Fathers for Frost, Dylan riding, drawn 6. This horse is also running constantly, always there and thereabout, um, and has run against strong opposition. We are now running in a AR66, where this horse has been running against a 71, a 77, a 75. So definitely, it's a 6-year-old, only had 7 runs, so must have had his problems in the past. But I'm sure Kum Naidu will send his horse to the won't send his horse to the course if it's not 100%. And I do believe that number 6, Father's Frost, is going to run a big race and will be one of the horses there when the photos are taken at the finish. And just quickly, here we have number 3, Spanish Ford. Jockey Strike, Lyle Hewitson, drawing from draw 3. This horse doesn't show much, but has run some decent races in Kimberley. Maybe want to chuck into the back end of your quartets. Here we have number 1, the favorite, Hampton Court, Hampton Marcus riding. This horse has run against some stronger opposition, but didn't show much. Now down in class, last time was run down by Jen Cutter over on the Scottsville. Unfortunately, the polyform is not too encouraging, so I'm not sure whether Hampton Course is really a good favorite in this race. I don't say it cannot win, but I think the race is very open. There's a lot of horses with chances. Canal Cove also, or that you might want to include into your quartets. So that concludes then our preview for the racing today at Greyville. I hope you make a bit of money, and as I always say, break a leg.